They
All right, let's
might be
go.
stuck in that.
All right, let's watch this TikTok
Open up.
now. So this TikToker, Lacey Rosette, how do you say that? She posted a TikTok pretty much asking a question or making a comment about masculinity, and I just wanted to play it for y'all and see if y'all disagree, agree, and then thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke for this. Go ahead.
This guy.
So, I've been reading about masculinity and men's studies, and I wanted to read this paragraph because I thought it was really interesting.
Does it have captions?
You
The
would
last one
you
had
would think
captions, and that helped me a lot, dude. I couldn't hear.
It is argued there is a constant need for men to
Do you
prove
not
that.
hear? Do you not see the captions on it right now?
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, now I see him.
Okay. Let me see if I can maybe turn this. Actually, I'll probably have to do it next time.
I didn't know if it was actually going to change to what she was saying. I just saw like the one caption at the beginning. And I was
oh
like,
yeah,
damn.
it changes.
Being able to display signs of economic
You want me to restart it?
masculinity, for example,
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
sexual
All right.
prowess with
You would think the accent would make somebody smarter, huh?
This guy.
She has an accent?
Yeah.
British.
Oh.
Let me make sure it's turned up. Okay.
So, I've been reading about
There we go.
masculinity and men's studies, and I wanted to read this paragraph because I thought it was really interesting. Because of the unobtainability of the masculine ideal, it is argued there is a constant need for men to prove that they are achieving the goals of masculinity, and with it, a permanent insecurity attached to manhood. Being able to display signs of hedonic masculinity, for example, strength, sexual prowess with women, the ability to consume beer, becomes vital to demonstrate that one is a real man. Masculinity is presented as a process which needs constantly reaffirming. One's status as a man is never secure but in perpetual need of validation by other men. As Kimmel notes, we men are under the constant careful scrutiny of other men. Other men watch us, rank us, grant our acceptance into the realm of manhood. Manhood is demonstrated for other men's approval. It is other men who evaluate the performance. As a result, it is suggested men often feel inadequate and powerless, even if they occupy positions of power within the public arena.
And that was pretty much it.
So,
So I guess to a degree, I'll go first. To a degree, I don't disagree with her. It's just I don't personally feel like I'm being judged by all men. If I am being judged by all men, there's only certain, I guess, men that I judgment who I actually care about.
There's
Like,
a threat assessment made.
yeah, I guess if that's what this not her but whoever she's quoting was referring to. Because
Kimmel, whoever.
and then I'm sorry, the comment about the beer thing was
They
funny.
snuck beer in there.
I know.
But it might have just been outdated. Like that might have been a theologist.
I think it was just a specific example for a broader.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just harping on like stereotypical frat
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Just because I think when it comes to beer, I think of like beer pong, chugging,
I'll
Yeah,
argue
and then,
this,
like
though.
trying to win
the
like
competition.
your bros, like
I don't
praise.
think I don't think men have made the concept of, I guess, complete masculinity, or is that what you're trying to talk about, unobtainable. Um, I think it's, I don't know. I think that's more based off observational stuff, and even this guy who wrote this, for him to observe this, to be honest with you, he's beta. First off, I'm just playing, but nah.
Well, let's address each individual point, but finish thought.
But that might, okay, boom, because of the unobtainability of the masculine ideal.
Couldn't you say the same about the feminine idea too? No.
Yes,
So-
but I don't want to argue
I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to say
against each other. But my
Well, I'm
point
not trying to do
is,
that either, but yeah.
my point is, men accept men who are comfortable, and so that completely takes away from the masculine ideal, because all we sense is an uncomfortability. So, like, as far as we're talking about men, a straight male or a cisgendered male or whatever the hell you want to call it, because obviously we would look at a man who's, with another man in a different light, we would categorize them differently as far as when it comes to masculinity. But that person could still have lots of masculine qualities. But literally, we check and gauge if you're comfortable. It's threat assessment, and are you comfortable in your skin? A person makes you notice their uncomfortability if something's off. And then that's when a man will be like, oh, you're not really either about that shit. Or you really, if you're speaking a certain way, if
There's
you're
something here
handling
to
a certain way.
address.
Exactly. There's something here to address. So I don't think we've made it obtainable. I think their idea, the verbalized ideal of a masculine man is unobtainable because there's always new stuff to conquer. So, like, if you're talking about what makes a man desirable, and then you're gauging that against the ideal masculinity, okay, that may be unobtainable because as long as there's somebody who can get richer, as long as there's somebody who can be stronger or whatever, then that ideal is always pushing forward. But that's almost progressive in its pursuit. So it's just
But the
weird.
masculine idea is also not something concrete either.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone's viewpoint of masculinity is different. So what is the masculine
And that's why I said the
ideal?
accepted thing is comfortability,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And then this other point, there is a constant need for men to prove that they are achieving the goals of masculinity. So, real quick, for the sake of discussion, so what's masculinity? The ability to what? Provide? Be able to bring food to the table,
Mhm.
money, blah, blah, blah.
I
And
kind
then
of
what the-
think of it in a more like hocus pocusy kind of way, where it's just like, just being able to maneuver yourself through life with masculine energy, like, you know what I mean? Because at this point, like with all the stuff going around, like I've been around guys that have a feminine vibe to them, and I'm just like, okay, like that's just how you choose to do you. But for guys that choose to kind of have that masculine vibe and go about life with it, like I think that is the masculine ideal and the masculine way of life. And so I do think she has a misinterpretation here, because honestly, I feel like what she read, if you replace all the masculine words with feminine, that's my stereotype of like feminine. The whole
I
like
agree.
making other like male accept you and like reputation and stuff like that, that seems really feminine to me. I mean, I've dated sorority girls, and I've literally had to listen through like gossip and stuff of like social rings and stuff like that, and be like, okay, cool. Even with like family members that are in sororities, like I've had to listen to the catty stuff about like, well, this position of hierarchy, this woman's at this position, and I have to kind of like deal with her in this way and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And to me, the masculine ideal isn't necessarily like I'm doing it so that I can show John or Gene that I'm a badass. I mean, if you get drunk, like, yeah, I guess sometimes that does come out, but like it's kind of a joke. Like, I would hope we'd assume that anybody that is constantly doing that, we immediately pick up on, and we're like, yeah, this guy's insecure. To me,
There's something that needs to be addressed.
yeah, exactly.
And we know.
To
we
me, the
know.
masculine thing is like when you watch, I don't know, like those movies where they're just like, you got to be better than the person you were yesterday, than the guy you were yesterday. And you got to push this stuff, not for anybody, but for yourself. And you got to want things for yourself. And you are proving yourself in a constant, unachievable way of masculine goals, but it's not for anybody else but yourself.
I agree with that, but also like to your point of it, we're not doing it for other men. Okay, let me put it like this. This is somebody who observed something but did not actually understand what they're observing. So
So right now,
If-
the argument right now, our discussion is her understanding of what she just read.
exactly,
Okay.
and so if I'm a hunter, right, and I get a big buck, and I show it to my friends, not the strangers, because there's a real difference. Show it to my village or whoever it is that's around me. Why would I show it to them? To celebrate. Guys, the nature of what she's talking about of showing it for other men is celebratory. It's not
There's a sense
it's
of
not
wanting
oppressive.
of acknowledgement.
Yeah, there's obviously you're being acknowledged, but it's almost celebratory. Share this moment with me. I did something good, and if we're genuinely connected as men, then it's oh my God, look
Badass.
what badass. And so it's not to put it in your face. And so the way they associate, they've added competition to every part of manhood. Is basically what they're saying. They're saying there's no part of manhood where we're just comfortable with our different levels. I'll put it like this: gaming is a good part, a gauge of, there's certain social circles or whatever how it is in gaming. I play Call of Duty Warzone. I'm probably like the second to the worst out of 9 friends. But it's never a problem when we're picking teams. It's never a problem when we're doing anything. Like we'll joke about it, we'll da-da-da-da, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not treated any differently. I get picked second from sometimes. I get picked last. Sometimes I get picked first. Sometimes I'm team captain. It does not
Maybe
matter.
some shit talk along the way, but guess what? They're still
and
interacting
it's still
with you.
and it's still there. And then when I do my shit, if I play well that match, end up with 10 kills, end up with 12 kills. They're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? They're happy for me. So it's just like there are places within manhood where we are comfortable with somebody being better, and
Or
the
worse.
competitive nature isn't actually applied in a malicious way, and
Okay.
that's what they're kind of
This
presenting it
Kimmel
as.
book seems to be saying.
Yeah.
And then last point, which is with all that we just said, a permanent insecurity attached to manhood. So I'm wondering, like, is this trying to say, like I guess in this hashtags up here, is this supposed to be her trying to bring light to toxic masculinity?
hmm She's reading it,
I
and because
think
she's reading it,
so.
she's stating it's
Yeah.
fact, and she's looking at the camera like,
Yeah,
drop the bar.
I think John has a point with her saying that like it's like somebody who's observing, and the interpretation is like, oh well, they're clearly continuing to strive as hard as they can through life because they're insecure.
hmm
Where it's just like, no, it's more so just that like you just want to be better than who you were yesterday. Like even feminists have that ideal. Like people, both genders honestly have that ideal. Anybody should have that ideal. They just want to be better than who they were yesterday.
So do you think this right now, because I've been reading the second part of what she said in the video, which is being able to display signs of the hegemonic masculinity, strength, prowess with women, consume beer, blah, 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 is vital to demonstrate that one is a real man. So do you think everything being said, assuming, because obviously this quote she's reading is out of context, do you think this, what she's reading in the book, is trying to maybe bring light to an insecure man? Because this to me, I don't know if y'all agree, sounds like an insecure man.
No, the book is bringing light to all men are insecure. That's what it's trying to say. And
Are you sure? Because I don't
yes,
make the assumption
it
of this one
is.
phrase.
It is.
I would agree with Doc saying that maybe she's taking this out of context and trying to make that. I don't know.
But the point of this, she didn't take any of the words out of context. She read it word for word. So the point of this passage, at least, is to say that there is some form of insecurity. There may be a greater
Well, of course there is.
picture.
Just like
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even in the passage within itself, it's like me and Doc said, it's observative in nature, but it's not true, because it's like somebody who observed men and female and didn't understand females at all, so took them out the equation. And so because they didn't understand these two things had this in common, they're attributing these things to just men, when in reality this is people. These are like, there are different things that are valued. It may not be beer drinking, it may be looks, it may not be this, it may be physique, it may be, you know what I'm saying, different for women, but these same principles apply to both. And it seems like the person who made this observation simply just left women out. Instead of just talking about people, they try to specify it to men, and that makes no sense to me. Because it seems like you're just talking about people.
So for this statement too, a lot of these I think are just games that men play with each other, but they're not necessarily to show true dominance. They're more so just to breed camaraderie. And so like you would do those actions, and in fact like they actually kind of reveal the insecure man, because the person who's like starts going over and above to try to prove themselves in those games, that's when you're just like, all right dude, like chill, like we were just playing, like we're just trying to have some fun.
And we all remember those dudes too.
Yeah, like the dude who's just like, oh I I got 100 girls last night, and we're just like, yeah,
We just had a
did
threesome.
did you like, okay,
With
well,
an NBA
cool.
player. The NBA player invited me to his mansion party.
That's
I
why I
think in
personally
that
I did
context
this.
it could go to toxic. What were you gonna say, Gene?
That's why I then bring this last little, I think this is the last one, into the conversation now, which is masculinity is presented as a process which needs constantly reaffirming. I really don't feel like my masculinity needs constant reaffirming personally. And then one status as a man is never secure but is perpetual need of validation from other men. I don't need other men to validate me.
I feel like once
That's
I
why
became comfortable
I'm
with
curious
my
what
manhood,
in this particular passage, what this particular chapter, I'm assuming, is talking about. Because if this is just men, like how they feel about their masculinity, how they go about understanding their masculinity, I don't agree with this at all. That makes this makes no sense. But like you said, with people, like okay, that I guess that would, for both of us, that makes sense.
when you apply it to both, it makes sense. When you're just applying it to men, it makes it seem like it's a weakness.
Like if
Or it's
anything,
a,
since this is about men, if there is any kind of need that needs constant reaffirming when it comes to my masculinity, if I guess that's why earlier I wanted to bring up the point, like, would you think the ability to provide is part of masculinity? Because maybe that might be the only aspect of manhood that I guess I don't.
It's concrete.
That's you're constantly trying to reaffirm is to make sure, am I making enough money is to provide? And then I guess whether on the man, it's like where that threshold is, it varies.
No, there's another
So
one. Am I able? Am I enough? It doesn't matter what you apply
okay.
to. Am I enough? Because the man who's maybe providing may feel like he's not able to sexually fulfill his wife, and so he may need to over provide or may need to compensate some other way. And I'm not saying all niggas who provide. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying insecurity just comes from the question I'm not enough.
So that's why I can then come back to my argument earlier. Then this sounds like an insecure man. Like, is this chapter about the insecure man, insecure masculinity? And it just, to save ink and time, they just took out the word insecurity for the sake of redundance in this particular discussion and understanding of masculinity. Because if this is an insecure man, then yeah, I can agree to a degree that this is insecure
but then
masculinity.
What's the point of the observation if you can apply it to both and not saying it to both? That makes no sense to me. That's why I feel like the point was all men.
Yeah, if the title of the chapter is men, then it'll be like, what the fuck, dude? But if it's like insecure men, then I'll be like, oh, okay. Although I would amend the bottom where it's like, but in perpetual need of validation by other men. I'm like, nah, most guys I know are in perpetual need of validation by women. So,
man, that's why I say it's just completely, man, y'all remember when y'all first started smashing? Y'all used to ask bitches them after, how was it? Son, come on now.
Dude, I still remember fucking like special operations, like, oh, she wants to see you tonight? Like, yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. All right, I got the car. We're driving. We'll drop you off. We'll circle around the neighborhood for like 45 minutes, and we'll pick you up. And I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, let's go. Like,
to get you some thighs, niggas is moving like SWAT for you. Niggas is moving like Desert Storm.
That's why
you need to get where? Africa? You need to be in Africa by this time tomorrow?
I know a guy.
All right, let me hit the guys. We're going to see what we can get together. Boom. Tony's a pilot. He said he going to... It's like that. So I just don't get the sense. It just don't make sense to me.
Yo, you made it to the end. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Fake Deep Thinking. If you like the show, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and to share. We really appreciate everything and appreciate you. So take it easy. Peace.
Have a good day.